Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a look at Transformers Generations Legacy, the Haslab Saber. And Saber here we can see in front of us. He came out in the Haslab group, the Haslab campaign, essentially their version of like Kickstarter. They, I think, originally needed 11,000 backers. It was $180 for this guy. And we eventually got 27,000 people, I think, signed up, which is pretty cool. So because of that, obviously, we got Saber here, and we got some accessories. So here is everything Saber comes with. So we've got Saber in front of us. We've got the Micromaster, the Brain of Courage, this little guy. We got, obviously, the Star, what is it called? The Starship. I believe there's the Saber sword in here, the Saber laser, the V-Lock cannon, Victory Leo, these two buddies, which I'll have to look up their name again later. I literally just looked it up and I forgot already. The stand, the effects pieces, all this stuff. But yeah, I was pretty excited when this was announced. I backed it. I actually got 2 copies of this, so one is still in a box. For a future thing, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. But then, yeah, we got all this stuff because we've got through like 3 different backing goals. And I do have the Masterpiece Starsaber, but I was looking forward to this specifically because of Victory Leo, and I want to do the Victory configuration. So yeah, let's get into it. So we'll start out, we'll put Saber off to the side right now. I do wish there was maybe some teeny tiny little peg so that the pilot of the ship could kind of like stand next to it, but that does not seem to be a realistic thing. We do get this lovely stand. It's a pretty standard. I feel like this is the same configuration that the other stands we've gotten. I'm gonna stick. We'll go this way because we're going to do alt mode stuff. I guess if we're going this way, the long end needs to connect. We'll do alt mode stuff first, and then you've got an adapter piece here if needed. So that's neat. We got green effect parts. We've seen all these effect parts before, but I do like that we have green effect parts for Starsaber for his... oh, did I 100% do the absolute wrong configuration here? For his exhaust pieces, which is neat. They are a little bent and messed up, which is unfortunate. But and there goes my Brain of Courage. They can barely, it's a tight squeeze, but you can get him in there. It's more designed for the larger ship mode, but if you're really stubborn, you can get the pieces in there for Saber spaceship mode. And his spaceship mode looks pretty nice. I know I've got some issues with the vacuum gold up here. I think a lot of people have. I've just got a couple red spots. I know fans have reported a lot of issues with the quality control in this figure. Mine seems to have, this is not me discounting it, I just think I got lucky. I don't have the same angling issue where the nose cone wants to point down because the pegs are malformed. Overall, it's a nice little, like, slightly smaller than deluxe-ish, maybe deluxe-ish jet nowadays. I do have some complaints. I do wish I had some landing gear down at the bottom or something. But yeah, it looks nice. The paint is lovely in general. We have a nice transparent cockpit that's painted red. It opens up. There's no cockpit details on the inside, which is unfortunate. But we've got stubby little wings. You know, it's more a rocket than a plane. And we've got our Saber robot mode hiding out underneath, but we were used to all that. I think this is going to be a longer video just because of how many parts of the kit there are and wanting to go through it thoroughly. But here we can see the, our Brainmaster of Courage there. Again, not too much paint, just enough to pick out some details. There's the face on the back, all that stuff. And like I showed at the beginning, you can open up the cockpit and seat your Brainmaster in here. And that's really all there is to this mode. It's a plane, so without landing gear, there's nothing that articulates except for our thrusters, which I do like that, you know, if you're trying to make a banking turn, the thrusters can position themselves. That's a nice little detail. It is on the small side. Here it is next to the Masterpiece jet. And you can see the same general shape is there, but obviously this being like a higher end collector's piece. And I think originally when this came out, this was like 200, was it 250, 200 bucks? So, you know, there's only a $20 price difference here. What you're trading is a really nice, detailed, and chunky Starsaber mode for a less detailed, smaller version that also comes with the Victory Leo. That's really the trade-off, and that's where I'm approaching my review, is trying to figure out which one's more worth it. But there they are next to each other, and obviously here you can see we do have landing gear, which I really appreciate. Everything just seems to fold in a little tighter and nicer on the Masterpiece, as you'd expect. But yeah, they look good next to each other, you know. Not as like big a size difference as I was expecting. The paint here has helped. Like obviously we've got dedicated molded pieces in different areas. And then there's that like shiny chrome there. The paint and everything helps here. It sucks. I tried wiping this down with alcohol to see if that would fix it. It's still kind of smudgy. I've tried not to touch it too much. But other than that, I mean, it's a nice enough looking little deluxe jet. And it is deluxe-ish to compare. You know, here's a Titan's Return Deluxe. So about the same size-ish there. But yeah, it's... again, this is going to be a long review, but we'll start out with going into some transformation just for Saber. We'll pop out our Brainmaster. It's a simple transformation. We're going to pop the wings up on each side. We're going to pop the back fins up. We can separate out the arms, get those out of the way, and now we can come in and separate the legs, and they can open up on each side, and there's an accordion joint here that we just rotate up and out of the way. Same thing on this side, open it up, rotate that up and out of the way, and that gives us knee joints. We can flip out our toes. He's got nice little high heels. There we go. And then it's just removing our sword piece, flipping out our arms, not our arms, our hands on each side. Oop. And yeah, I find that my ball socket is just a little loose, but that is something that can be fixed with some future floor polish on that ball joint, which I'll do after this video. And then the very last thing is our Brainmaster, obviously, we've got here. They don't fold up. Instead, what happens is we flip out the head that's on his back. Flips out, I guess not head, just a face. And then we can come in on the center here, flip out the head, and our Brainmaster can slide in like so, collapsing our chest piece on top of it. And then here we've got Saber, and again a nice little robot mode. You know, in terms of articulation, the head can swivel. But because of the Brainmaster gimmick, it's not going to have a ball joint, which is understandable. Unfortunate, but understandable. 360 on these shoulders. The shoulder joint has that inner piece that can move as needed. And then in addition to that, we do have a bicep swivel, and you know, you can get that arm pretty high. We don't have any sort of forearm swivel, but we do have... let me just take that arm off. We do have a ball joint here, which lets us, if we're careful, lets us simulate wrist swivel here, which I do appreciate. Then on the, yeah, can you tell one's way tighter than the other? We do have waist swivel, which I appreciate. Of course, it is limited by how far you can go before you knock into the wings, but what I do appreciate is we do, as a result of like other transformation features, we've got a little bit ab crunch, so you can, if you're really trying to get like a dynamic running pose or something, you can cheat by getting the waist swivel separated and then getting around the wings that way. I do like that. And of course, yeah, he can touch his toes. If you really want him to, he can curl up. It does break the mold back here, just like break the connective piece. 360 not 360, full Van Damme on the hips. They can go out so far, they can go back so far before they run into the wings. Thigh swivel here, 360, and then a knee joint, as well as, just like we saw in the thrusters, we do have the tiniest bit of ankle tilt, which I really, really appreciate. So yeah, overall, pretty dynamic. Let me grab his arm. And I guess if this is the biggest quality control piece on my, quality control issue on my piece, I can't complain that much. But it is a little disappointing that something as expensive and like collectors focused as this seemed to have struggled with a lot of quality control issues that I just think I got lucky and I avoided. We do have, like I said, some lovely silver paint, silver and white paint picking things out. He looks very heroic, very much that late 80s. And maybe it's like I need to loosen up the bicep joint so when I'm twisting it's not like putting pressure up here. But a very, dynamic hero, definitely a good leader of the Autobots, that sort of thing. Now in terms of comparison, here are our two sabers, Masterpiece and the Haslab. And yeah, here we can see, similar idea. I feel like the Masterpiece one, with their budget and everything, is able to do a significantly more svelte figure. The transformation, I feel like, is actually easier on this figure, just because there's so many like auto transforming parts, like you collapse the legs and things fold in and out, which I really, really like. It does illustrate to me kind of what the difference now between Masterpiece and Generations equivalent is, right? Because even though this is a Haslab thing, this is essentially, to me, just Generations Starsaber. Yeah, and it's like they look good together, but I do very much prefer this version of the character. Now, Saber he can take his little sword piece for Starsaber. He can wield it like a shield, and then he can take the Saber gun, I think it's called Saber Blaster, and wield that. So, you do have him fighting off the Decepticons like that, and he is a nice little leader. I will say, if I'm putting him next to like my Optimus Prime, I do prefer this size. And this is something I think a little unique to me, in that I like Saber as his own distinct character, and then Starsaber as like a super mode. Whereas I feel like a lot of fans view Starsaber as the main character, and then this is just like a proto form kind of thing. But I like this dynamic here over on the right, where it's like these are two leaders of the Autobots, and then this here doesn't quite give off that same level of presence. But again, I recognize the differences required in like size and things like that. But there he is next to a fellow Autobot leader, if you were curious. And then I think we're gonna just take him and get him transformed back into plane mode to start talking about Starsaber stuff. All right, before we do Starsaber's combination, I did want to show off, I don't think I showed the two Brainmasters. So here's the difference we get between the Haslab and the Masterpiece version. Again, just showing off the Masterpiece. And I looked online, and I guess Masterpiece Starsaber is like $400 now, which is crazy to me. I need to go back and look what I originally paid for it. I thought I only paid like $200 for mine. So if it's doubled in price, that's pretty insane. But I guess, with what came out, maybe people are like, no, I'd prefer getting the Masterpiece or something. I know there was a third-party Victory Leo that came out at some point. I never really was that interested in checking it out, but maybe I'll have to check it out. So I do wonder, I never tried to attach let's see, if we take this piece off, there isn't really a place to put Saber by itself on the flight stand, which is unfortunate. We do have this chest piece here, which looks like it should fit. Does it go this way? Well, it's got to fit somewhere on the star. Oh, it fits on this section. Got it. Okay, so I guess with that, we'll get into the Starsaber part of Starsaber. So you obviously can. There's the 5mm port up there to put the blaster on. You can fold it down, fold these wing sections down. I believe fold these up, and then you have the star. What is this called? I don't know. His starship, and we have a latch down in here. Maybe that's a better angle with more light. That we can slide him down onto, and you can see kind of there where they will connect. And it's a pretty decent connection, clicks nicely. And now you've got Starsaber together. You can close up these side panels to lock him in place. And yeah, now we've got a much larger spaceship. I do like the idea of like, you know, this is the smaller vehicle that can go fly around through the atmosphere. This larger vehicle is for like interplanetary travel. We can put our clip, I think it has to go on here. I just looked at the instructions and I just did this earlier. Am I like kind of bad at this? Yes, but also, there we go. No, maybe not. Hold on just a second. Yeah, this is going to be a long review. No, I was right. I just wasn't finding this slot. So there is, I'm going to see if I can show it off. It's this slot here that this has a tab in there that they connect to. It's just a little hard to do on camera. Like right now, I don't have it. But it does fit there if I can, you know, get my head around the camera to make sure I found that slot. We demonstrated it. That's fine. Oh boy. So here is Starsaber, and yeah, we can see like you can put the V-lock cannon on. We can take that off. We can take the shield off. I believe this is like the cartoon accurate Starsaber at this point. And yeah, it's big. It's swooshable. I dig all that stuff. I definitely feel like these wings should be up, but they kind of look pretty good down as well. Yeah, it's big. I love the big rockets at the end. I just like Starsaber's look a lot. Yeah, we've got this like turret up top, quote unquote turret, which is clearly just a helmet. But I like, you know, the different pieces of firepower it's got. We do have on the back end, we can put in our thrust effects there when you're swishing around, which I really dig. And yeah, it is nice and chunky and feels good in hand. Let's compare this to the Masterpiece version. And obviously we've got a decent size difference between the two of them. I'm hoping I've got both on camera here. But we can see, yeah, and on the Masterpiece version, you actually have to have those wings up. There's just no other way to connect it. It is interesting that I guess the arm pillars, the shoulder pillars here are small enough that you don't have to do that over here. But there they are next to each other. And yeah, it's pretty neat like this. I dig it a lot. I do have some complaints. I wish that the wings, like the side wings have a good locking point. These wings just freely rotate. I wish they like kind of had a lock at that location. I also can't get these panels to close all the way in this mode. They close and lock in the other modes, but it seems like there's enough pressure here from the leg or something that prevents them from staying in, which is really unfortunate. Again, just part of that like fit and finish. But other than that, I mean, it is a great representation of Starsaber like this. Okay, so with that said, I think the next step is to do like the Victory Leo transformation. We'll set this to the side. We've got Victory Leo here. This is the part that I was most excited about, is getting Victory Leo in hand. And we're going to do this transformation from, or we'll talk about this, then we'll transform it into spaceship mode, and we'll do the Victory Saber, the biggest spaceship mode. So Victory Saber is obviously a massive tusked winged lion, just the weirdest thing in the world. But I really like it. I like the way this looks a lot. It's decent size. I mean, this is clearly like Voyager-y these days. It's got this dumb little thing at the back end that I guess is supposed to be the tail. It's pretty well articulated. We have a nice painted mouth, and the mouth can move up and down. The head can move. There is some waggle depending on how far you're willing to separate the platform out there. The main pieces, they're supposed to stick out a little from the head, but I find that because the main doesn't have strong locking points, it also tends to just kind of get pushed back in as you're playing with the toy. I guess that's the thing that I'm noticing about this figure is just, I wish there were little detents here and there that would help out. We do have articulation. The wings can go up and down a little bit. The shoulder can go 360. You have to move the arm out of the way so you don't collide with the wings. There is a bicep swivel and essentially a full curl on the elbow. Not a double joint, just a curl. In addition to that, depending on how far you're willing to break this sculpt and reveal his robot arm, you do have some articulation on the lion paws. And then, you know, you can go in and out as needed. Then on the waist here, the waist can, oh no, it can't twist because of transformation. Never mind. I was like, why? You can get like a little bit of butt wiggle there. And then the legs can curl. They can curl up for transformation. There is a joint here for the foot, as well as one for the knee, and then you've got hip there. So, you know, not like the most, it's definitely not like Kingdom Legacy Beast Wars level of articulation, but decently enough articulated and expressive for a weird space lion. And he's not just a weird space lion, he's also a weird space lion spaceship. If for whatever reason Victory Leo's wings aren't strong enough to get him out into space, he can transform. So we're starting out on the back end. We're gonna close up these legs, bring them around, and they do have a nice locking point. Again, there's a tab and a slot. We can get things around. There we go. Locks up nicely. Then we can come in up front. We can extend out the wings. And I guess I do want to point out, this is my biggest complaint. They gave us stickers for this red right here on the wings. Why wasn't that a paint app? There's so much paint everywhere on the figure. Are you telling me that the budget allotted for this paint couldn't have been extended to add red paint right here? That is crazy to me. I don't know why that was the case. That is really surprising and a real big disappointment that had to be a sticker. That's the only sticker on the toy. I don't know why that was the case, but it was the case. We flip around our cannons, and then we can come in. We're going to collapse in the tusks. Pop that back. There we go. Flip that head back around like so. And then these arms just curl up. Is that right? No, maybe they go this way. Yes. I don't know what I was thinking. They go this way because there is a tab and a slot that it slots into the wing. Come on. There we go. There, and now we've got our Victory Leo spaceship trailer thing, which is weird looking, but it's got big cannons, and I dig it. You know, it's basically just Victory Leo flying backwards. It's so silly. To me, this is like the height of that silly, like, Japanese super robot transformation where nothing really makes sense. It's just kind of doing what it does. And then obviously we've got these two red tabs here, and they can combine up with Starsaber. So we've got Victory, whatever, Victory Starsaber spaceship mode. We can move things out of the way. Coming in, can we? You know what? I think I need to transform, collapsing in that section. Just wondering about that. All right. Can we get things lined up? There are tabs on the... Oh, all right, we're going to move this out of the way first. All right, first thing we're going to do is try and get these tabs in place on the sides. There we go. Squeeze them in. And again, it squeezes together, but it doesn't... Like that, it's by itself is not the most secure thing because those panels want to move, which is really disappointing. Then we can come down. That secures our double spaceship action pretty well. We want to cover up this area with our shield. There is a bunch of 5mm ports on the shield, so we can come in and just stick that over things. There we go. Allowing, maybe that's not the right. There we go. Put the V-lock cannon over here. And again, it's not the single most secure thing in the world, but I feel like it does a good job of having the illusion of everything locking together. Let's see if we can get this part correct. That's, you know what? It's probably easier to do it this way. We'll take this, so there's a slot there. There's a tab there. Oh, so much easier that way. And then we'll put this section on. Oh, did the weight just pop it out? It did. Come on. Press it in. There we go. Now, get that wing up. There is our combined super spaceship mode. Here is our combined super spaceship, and it is looking pretty fantastic. Again, just all around insane, like, bots combined. This is what we've got. Starting out with the teeny tiny Brainmaster, goes into Saber, goes into Victory Saber, has Victory Leo attached on the back of it. Silly, but a lot of fun. And this is the reason that I wanted the kit, right? The whole reason was for doing this silly super mode stuff. And obviously we've got our two pals, and they do have 5mm pegs, so you can attach, there we go, you can attach our alternate vehicles, our Minicon Micromaster buddies, you know, wherever you want. Actually, probably the smart thing to do here would be to combine them up. What, flipping this around. Flip it. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it right now. I still need to go back and look up their names. But yeah, here is our crazy spaceship mode. And again, it doesn't really look like anything real, but it looks, I mean, if this was coming at me in space, I'd be terrified. That's a lot of guns. That's a lot of firepower. I really dig that we're finally able to get this in the Transformers line in the West. Because, right, I don't think Victory Saber or Masterpiece Starsaber or any of that came out in the States. But yeah, it looks fantastic. Okay, I think the next thing is what? Break him apart, and we want to do Starsaber and Starsaber base mode. So we'll do that next. Actually, before we do that, okay, so this is Holi. And obviously these are both repaints of War for Cybertron Micromasters. The fit and finish on these is not great, but they're like little extra pieces, so I don't like care too much. It's not the reason we got the kit, and I think this was the tier 3 reward. The same problem we had with these molds the first time around is the same thing we have here, which is just a looseness in the sculpting and the design, allowing limbs to pop off. But here is Holi. It looks nice enough. You know, little Micromaster police car. And then here's Autobot Fire, who is a Micromaster truck. We can flip out. There we go. We get that extended ladder, which I dig. And then here again, and I think this is the better of the two. Flipping things out, flipping things back. There we go. It's very much like Optimus Prime colors. Definitely like RID 2000 Optimus Prime colors. But looks nice enough, and it's neat that they were included as a reward. I forget, I think the backer rewards were the stand, and then the V-lock cannon, and then those two. So, you know, it's neat enough that we got that, but that's not the reason I spent the $180 to get this guy. So we're going to take him off the stand. Oh, now that I put it in, it's real secure. There we go. Put that back. We're going to come in, remove the V-lock cannon, take off our shield, and come in and unclip, well, take off our special effects pieces, blast effect pieces, come in and, what's the best way to untab? There we go. All right, so here's Victory Leo in spaceship mode, and we'll transform him later. But here we have Starsaber in spaceship mode. Let's go ahead and get to transform. We're going to take off the Saber Blaster. We're going to come in at the bottom, disengage the Saber. So there's a button on the back that we press, and it lets us pull this out. And again, here is Saber. And if we are doing base mode next, yeah, let's do base mode next. We're gonna flip over these like cannons. We're gonna come in and we are going to separate the arms on each side. There we go. And that lets us, there's also a tab here that connects the arm to the hip. I do like, it's secure. I like that there's like a point of interconnection going this way and a point going this way. I like that a lot. Same thing on this side. There we go. We can fold these arm sections forward. Fold down these hip sections. Collapse in, so there, that joint kind of collapses in. We've got our panels, same thing on this side. Collapsing that joint in, rotating. And I believe we take this shield, it's got two tabs up here. They are going to tab into these two tabs that secured Saber in the super mode. And this is like without... Come on. You just kind of get it in on one side. Hope to get it in on one side. And then try and work it in on the other side. It is, to me, this is not a super secure connection. And it feels like it could have been designed better for sure. But I believe this is our base mode. We take this head section. It's got a thin part of that neck that can go on either side here. Trying not to... And this is, you know, not to me, not the most important part of Starsaber, but we can take a gun, stick it in, you know, an embankment. This must have worked way better on the original G1 toy because of how chunky it was. It could just kind of be like a base. But to me, this seems like a neat homage to the original toy. But even on the Masterpiece, like I'm not going to bother doing this for the Masterpiece figure. It's like a neat thing that it's like, oh, remember your old toy did this? You know what, I'm not going to bother with it. That is what I get out of this. It's like, yeah, it's fine. I don't care. It doesn't have any like millimeter ports for Micromasters or Titan Masters. I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, it has that mode. I just don't find any value from it. So we have this super robot exoskeleton. We can now start transforming it into that super robot mode. We're going to come in on the bottom, we're going to untab these panels, allowing us to extend and accordion out the feet. Now that this is out, you can see there's that section here. It wanted to tab in onto this slot here, and it failed. It struggled to stay tabbed in, but on the bottom part, it tabs in very well. We can bring down our hips. Same thing on this side. You can come in, you can see it's trying to tab in there, but it's really struggling. But when we accordion out and it tabs in on that second area, that second slot, it tabs in just fine. We can rotate our arms. We can come in on the side. There is a panel here that we flip out, and we again accordion out the arm, and we've got our bicep and elbow and all that stuff. Same thing on this side. Open it up, rotate it out, close it up. Oh, I don't think I closed that properly. There we go. Then we can flip out our fists. Oh, maybe I didn't close that properly on either side. Flip out our fists. Same thing here. Just, come on, get it out of there. And here we've got kind of our super robot mode. We just need to take off this piece and then plug in Saber. So grabbing Saber, we're gonna come in, take out our Brainmaster of Courage, close it up, flip in these wings on the sides, and we come in, rip off the nose cone, set that to the side. These should be up, and then we can flip these down, and it lets us bend our joints forward on the knees. We can split the legs. I just find it's easier to split the legs, and you're just bringing them up in that new slot you created, and then you can accordion up the waist to get connecting things back together, to get that chest piece that we want to have so badly. With the wings up and back, we can come in on here, and we have a section where we can tab in and lock in Starsaber's chest. And then again, we have the gray tabs sections. There's red tabs on either side of Saber that can lock things up like so. We've got our Brainmaster. Opening up this section, flipping that up, flipping these down, and I think I totally forgot to we're gonna pull this out, open it up, flip out that head, because our Brainmaster needs to go in there. Just like so. Oop. Just like so. Close it back up. Everything there is correct. Put it back. And then get those joints in place. Those tabs. There we go. All right. And then we've got our Starsaber head and neck, putting them on, flipping down his face plate. We've got our wings, our head fins up. And the very last thing, it might be the very first thing you do, but the very last thing I do is flip out his toes. Yeah, no dramatic head reveal for me. I'm all about that dramatic toe reveal. And here is Starsaber, and I gotta say, he looks pretty great. Again, we've got the masterpiece that we'll compare him to in a little bit, but just as is, as a standing super robot, as a leader of the Autobots, I think he looks pretty nice. Adjusting the camera a little bit, here he is next to Optimus Prime, and I do like this size a little bit better. The masterpiece version is like kind of too tall, but if I view it as like a super duper robot mode that's designed to go against combiners and stuff, maybe I like that giant size a little bit better. But this is neat. Like I like everything that he does. I like his proportions and everything. He's got his own accessories. Obviously, he can still hold the gun. The hands are nice. I guess we'll talk about articulation. You can open up the hands, and then when you close them, it pops out a little 5mm cylinder to hold the gun, which is really neat. Same thing with him holding the shield. You can take this gray section, stick it in the back here, and then he can hold that shield like so, which I dig. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. We do have this sword. If you pull this blue tab, it creates a slot here, and he can store the blade over here. It's been here the whole time. And he can stick that in like so. So if you want, you know, to give him his saber, he can, oop. Oh, when I pressed it in, I pressed in too far. I was like, why isn't it going in? All right, there we go. So he can hold that like so. And then obviously this can store, you know, wherever on the back. But yeah, he looks pretty great. Good articulation. Again, the Brainmaster gimmick means that all you get is a swivel at the neck. But we do, as long as you're willing to kind of break things up a little bit, we do get some tilt there, which I like. He can be looking down or up. The antennae aren't really supposed to wiggle, but they do. 360 here. We do have a butterfly curl if needed. I do appreciate that a little bit, especially as a sword wielder, you know, kind of being able to break that sculpt up a little bit to get that sword up is nice. I dig that. We do get a joint in the pylon here. Lets you get out that far. It's not too far, but I know the Masterpiece has a similar limitation. It is unfortunate that we can't go further. We do get some decent curl in that double jointed bicep. It's like double jointed enough to get us the jointage of a regular bicep if his forearm wasn't so big. But again, it's Starsaber's design. I get that it's got to be that way. We do have wrist swivel and wrist waggle, which I appreciate. I showed you the fingers already. The hip skirts can all move out of the way. We've got simple ball joints here, but really nicely ratcheted. So it can get up plenty, as we saw in base mode. Can kick out yay far or sit down. Kicking back, the skirts on the back end don't go back that far, but you can get, you know, decent there. And then of course we've got a 90-degree knee bend. And then we do have thigh swivel, and we do have, there we go, we do have ankle tilt. So yeah, you can get your Starsaber in some nice dynamic poses. And obviously you can also, if you take, we're going to set him back there, this piece, flip it around, come on, there we go. Removing that adapter, there is a port on his butt. Oh wait. There we go. I had it backwards. So you can get him, and it wiggles a lot, but you can get him posed up in the air, which I like a lot. Yeah, I as a Starsaber, I am very happy with how this looks. But that is not all he does. Before we go into Victory Saber mode, let's do our comparison to the Masterpiece. And here they are next to each other. And here you can see, with the stand, this Starsaber still stands taller. But it is neat to see the evolution of the design. As far as what I've read is the engineer that did the Masterpiece Starsaber is one of the two engineers that worked on the Haslab version, and I do see the shared like identity there. This is still like just a bigger, more imposing figure. It's interesting that it's thinner. I think a lot of the Masterpiece like identity is like that kind of more svelte anime look, because that is how he looked in the cartoon. Whereas this maybe takes a little more of that chonk from the original toy. They both, I think, have their own value in a collection. But yeah, looking at them next to each other, it's really hard for me to like, I like that this toy has all the stuff that it has. But man, if they came out with a Masterpiece Victory Leo, I would not get rid of my Masterpiece Starsaber. Who knows? Hopefully, maybe we'll still get one in the future. But the very final thing now, I think I've gone through everything on this toy except for Victory Leo's transformation into a pair of feet. So we're going to start out and we're going to just rip him apart. Lion mode comes out. We already have our wings out. Our lion head is already out of the way. Everything's tabbed in. Essentially, it's just getting the cannons out here from the spaceship mode. And then down here, we're going to split apart his legs as well as his torso. The whole thing comes apart. We can flip out our feetsies. There we go. Then we can come in and we have a break right here in the, I guess, his little like Gatling gun, hip gun thing. And we can collapse in on each side. From spaceship mode, this transformation is real simple. There we go. Flipping out. Come on, toe. Oh, you know what? I need to keep that section out, then I can flip this out, then I can put that section back in. Almost done on the feet. We pull out this black section, we pull up this red section on each side. There we go. Coming in, and I think I'm going to try and leave Starsaber just on the stand here. We're going to fold. You know what? As soon as I said that, I'm like, no, it's going to be easier for me to wiggle him off. We're going to fold up our toesies on each side. And then you can see where things are going to lock together. So we have this red clip here that's going to go around this gray section. That slipped. There we go. And that's a nice connect. And then this locks up over. I talked over that, but that's also a nice clip. Same thing on this side. Yeah. Now look at him. He's just a tall, tall boy. Coming in, pull this down, fold down this section. His back gets longer. And there is... fold the lion head in this direction. And we probably didn't even need to flip those at all. There is a clip back here that is going to be engaged up here. Oop. I don't need to pull this. Oh, you know what? Flip out that panel, and then you can engage this clip properly. There we go. And yeah, here is, these sections can come down and attach there. Here is Victory Saber, and is that, do I need to adjust my camera again? We'll see. Hopefully that's tall enough that you can put him on stand and still see him, but we can, oh wait, how would he get, yeah. You'd come in, put the stand on, and then close his butt flap underneath it. And yeah, here is Victory Saber. And again, none of the articulation changes. We just have a more menacing, taller, thinner silhouette. Yeah, and it looks great. I mean, this is the whole reason I got him, was to kind of have this display piece. And it looks really, really nice. It still is a cool toy, still cool to play with. You can give him the V-lock cannon. We can take the sword. And we'll just sheath it for now. There we go. Then the V-lock cannon can go in. And yeah, I mean, look look at that. That is a menacing, mean Autobot leader ready to just destroy Deceptichumps. He looks really fantastic. And obviously the sand is built for him to be able to hang on to it. You can obviously give him a blast effect, or if you want, you can do those up here. And yeah, the guns themselves, they're nicely articulated. And I mean, that does have some real shelf presence. I think it looks fantastic. And on a shelf, even amongst other Autobot leaders and stuff, I think Victory Saber will stand out. And I get like why people really wanted this guy. I think having played with it, the fit and finish and everything, I want to keep him in my collection. I have the second one, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to my Masterpiece Victory Saber, but I'm going to have the second Victory Saber, it's all in a box still, be part of our fundraising effort for this year. So keep an eye out. Every year we do fundraising. We've done it for different causes, the Free Store Food Bank, the Center for Transgender Equality, Campaign Zero for police reform. Our big one is Cincinnati Children's Hospital. We have a meeting next weekend where we'll be talking about kind of the stuff we want to do. So I'm going to hold on to the Haslab, the full Haslab set, still in the box, and it'll be maybe our big raffle prize for this year's fundraising to whatever donor donates and wins it, supporting the children of Cincinnati Children's Hospital or whatever else we end up fundraising for. Because it is a fantastic set. I think I still hold out hope. Comparing the two and transforming the Masterpiece figure and stuff, I still hold out hope of getting this Victory Saber. And maybe this is the kick in the pants. I need to go check out that the third-party one. Because I like a lot of what this does. The quality control issues are very annoying. It sounds like, from what I've read and what I've heard, there are a lot of people that are unhappy with this figure because of the QC issues. I just happen to be one of the fortunate ones. But I think I still prefer this guy, and I would love to see this. You know what? Did I have? There we go. I would love to see this guy get a Victory Leo to really just maximize that shelf presence. But yeah, it is, like I was thinking about this review, this is more just a like discussion of the Victory Saber. It's not really a review because I don't know that's annoying. I don't know who the target audience for the review would be. If you were interested in Victory Saber, you've already got him. If you were not interested, he's really hard to find now, I think. I would not pay more than $200 for this whole thing. If you can get this for $400, would I buy this for like $300? Probably not. I'm glad I got it for the $180 that it was originally backed. I'm looking forward to Deathsaurus. Oh, I guess that's what I should show off. In all my size comparisons, here he is next to Mastermind Creations Deathsaurus. There's that size comparison. Yeah, I don't think that this is not worth like $250. $250 is pushing it for me. You get a pretty nice leader figure, a cool Voyager. It is unique and it's all that Haslab stuff, so I get the upcharge. But things like the quality control issues that we've seen, it seems like kind of a crapshoot for if your Victory Saber is going to be really nice. Like, that's why I'm not opening the other one, because I don't want to be held responsible for if that thing isn't as nice as this version. So I'm going to keep it sealed. I'm not going to touch it. The other thing is, like, the stickers, like random things like the stickers just seems like they kind of cheaped out on that when, you are paying a premium for this figure. The joints, certain things could be tightened. You probably noticed me fiddling with like the elbow a little bit, things like that. So I don't think it's worth it's not a masterpiece quality figure. It is still a Generations Victory Saber, but it is a pretty nice Generations Victory Saber, and I'm glad I've got it in my collection right now. All right, that's it for today's video. I know this was a super long one. Thanks everyone for watching, and you know what? Here is my last thing that I'm gonna say. Thank you so much for all your support for the last year. What I'm going to do, because I know not everyone can afford to donate things like that, I want there to be a free opportunity to win the Victory Saber. So, while we have not announced our fundraiser yet, this review video right here is going to function as a way to enter the eventual Victory Saber raffle for free. The way you do that is, like normal, down in the comments below, let me know for 2023, what's a goal that you've set for yourself? What is something you want to accomplish in 2023? For me, a big thing that I've got a couple, but a big thing that I am specifically working on is managing my my work-life balance. I spend a lot of time and energy working on projects and things that I love, but maybe I need feedback I've been given is dialing it back a little bit, enjoying the time with loved ones a little more, because I do get soaked up in kind of my work and the things I want to do. So that's my goal. But yeah, so if you enter, this is not a giveaway that has a definite ending right now. The winner will be announced when we do our big fundraiser. And when we do our big fundraiser, you will be entered for free if you leave a comment down below, along with whoever donates, just like normal, whatever the fundraiser rules are. But this is an opportunity to get a free entry into that future fundraiser that'll happen this year for the Victory Saber Haslab version. Down in the comments below, let me know what is something you want to, a goal you're setting, what is something you want to accomplish in 2023. All right, I'm looking forward to a great year, everyone. I know this was a long video. I'm still on vacation, so that's been nice. But let's get back at it. All right, bye everyone. Talk to you soon.